Welcome everyone. Welcome. We are in Coimbra today. Welcome. Hello. Do let me know where you are tuning in from. Hello, welcome everyone. My name is Kelsey. We are live in Portugal. This is my first live tour. Hi Diane, welcome. And I am so excited to be able to share this beautiful place with you. Well, this is my first live tour on YouTube, that is. Do let me know where you are tuning in from today and if you have ever been to Portugal. Also, if you wouldn't mind letting me know in the chat, can you see me okay? Am I in the horizontal landscape view? Does it look normal? I just want to make sure before we get started that there are no tech issues. Can you hear me okay? Hello in Michigan. Hi Lisa and Mark. Hi Tessa in the UK. You're arriving in Faro and Porto on Monday. Oh my gosh. Yes, we can see you. Okay, perfect. Thank you for letting me know. How exciting! Yes. Okay, great. Thank you all for being so active in the chat. That is a guide's happy place, knowing that you all can see me and hear me. Pretty blue glasses. We can see you and it is so clear. Oh, that's great! Yay! So, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Kelsey. I am originally from Portland and Chicago, and my husband and I moved to Valencia, Spain last February. We're loving it. It's beautiful. Hi, Beata. Welcome, Sharon B. And we are today in Coimbra. So to give you some background as to where we are and how we got here. A few days ago, I landed in Lisbon and I took a train 2 hours up to Coimbra. So we're about 2 hours from Lisbon and 2 hours from Porto. We're right in the middle of Portugal. You look like you are right in the room. Good, I'm glad it is clear for all of you. So we have quite the tour today, and it looks like it is time to officially start. So I actually wanted to begin right where I had lunch. I have been sitting there for the past 2 hours chatting with the very nice ladies who work in this delicious little bistro, and oh, I have had some of the best food in my whole life. You all know I'm such a foodie, and I have eaten it or packed it away, but let me just quickly tell you what I had. We had pork cheeks and carrots and potatoes, and then the other dish, because there's always another dish here, the other dish was cod, potatoes, onions, and then she gave me a starter of cornbread with roasted peppers and onions and olive oil on it. Oh, it was so good. So I knew that I had to start this tour right here because it is one of the most stunning views. We will see the river, we will see the, they call them the back-breaking hills, which for those of you who are a little bit unsteady on your feet, Coimbra would be a place to see virtually. I have climbed, no joke, 87 floors today, and it's only 3 o'clock here. Oh yes, so today I am 1 hour earlier than I normally am. So it is 3 o'clock here instead of 4 like it is in Spain. And it is about 70 degrees Fahrenheit here, so maybe 20 or 22 degrees Celsius. Yesterday it was raining all day long. There were, as I've said, there are a lot of hills here, so I was literally having to swim through these cobblestone streets. So it was quite the adventure, that is for sure. So I'm very glad today we haven't had any rain yet. There is none in the forecast, but boy, there are some big gray scary looking clouds, so we will cross our fingers that we can have the tour rain free. Okay, are you ready? Shall we get started? Okay, so in terms of using the platform, I know I always used to do an intro for Hago, but now that we're on YouTube, if you wouldn't mind clicking the like button if you enjoyed it, and if you are not subscribed, please do subscribe so that you can find out about all of my future tours. And a shout out for my tour later today starts in 3 hours from now. We are headed to the lavender fields. That is on my Buy Me a Coffee. The link is in the description for this tour. So let's go ahead and turn this around. Okay. So you can see we are sitting on a very hilly street side here. And now let me stand up and show you some of the beautiful views. Sun all the way in London. That's wonderful. Your photos on Facebook have been amazing. Oh, thank you. Okay, so we are in Coimbra today. This is a riverfront city in Portugal's former capital. It has quite the preserved medieval old town and a historic university called the University of Coimbra. We are just heading over to give you some better views. Here we go. I'm starting at the top of the hill. Normally I would save the hilltop views for the very end, but I'm starting at the top of the hill because I kid you not, my little legs and knees and everything is just wiggling because of how much climbing I've had to do today. So this also has a former palace in it, the Biblioteca Joanina, which is one of the most beautiful libraries I have ever seen. I went in today and it was very much no filming, no photography, no video. They were slapping phones out of people's hands. It was a little bit intense, but as always, I did some sly filming, so we will be able to have a recap for that. Don't worry. So it was absolutely beautiful though, entirely made of gold, books that were hundreds of years old. Everything was blocked off though, so it was quite the experience to see. Welcome everyone, for those of you who are just tuning in. Hi Tracy, my name is Kelsey and we are in Coimbra in Portugal today. Let me just show you some of the hills that we are looking at here. It is a little bit windy, so keep me posted on the chat if you ever cannot hear me. Coimbra is located right between between Porto and Lisbon. So this is how you basically get a sense of the countryside, the small towns. The way that I've been describing this town is a big town that feels and looks like a small town. If anyone has been to Albania, I went to a very tiny town a few years ago called Kruye, and this is the closest comparison I can make to Coimbra. All of the tiny side streets, the cobblestone streets, the tiny shops, everything is very quiet. Of course, now we have a bunch of tourists, but I have to say these are the biggest crowds I've seen all day. And I just want to show you one of the restaurants here. This is actually closed currently, but oh, by the way, it is a holiday in Portugal today. It is Portugal Day. And from my understanding, I have been asking my host and all of the people at the restaurants, the servers, everyone speaks really good English here. So I've been able to ask people more in-depth questions than I usually am. And I said, what on earth is Portugal Day? And my host, the lady I'm staying with at an Airbnb, which the house is amazing, by the way. I should do a live tour there. It is so amazing. I have to climb up 87 steps to get to my room, but she has a courtyard and a balcony that is one of the prettiest views I've ever seen. So I asked her, I said, what is Portugal Day? And she goes, oh, it is just a day that we have off of work. And I said, yeah, but what, what is it to celebrate? Like, what are you celebrating? And let me get around all the traffic. Oh my goodness. Most people I've seen all day. And I had to do some research because she actually didn't know what Portugal Day was officially celebrating. But I do. So let me tell you while we have a look at the sleeping cat. Hi, little kitty. You're so cute. Hi. I said hi to you earlier, didn't I? If my husband's on this tour, this is the cat I'm taking home. I hope you're prepared. So Portugal Day is to commemorate the death of Portugal's national poet. And I apologize for my pronunciation, Luís de Camões. According to the official documents, Camões had a permanent influence on Portuguese and Brazilian literature through his lyric poetry. So that is what Portugal Day is celebrating. It is the National Day of Portugal. It is celebrated every year on June 10th, and it is a public holiday celebrated by Portuguese people all over the world. And on weekends, people don't do much to celebrate it. There is a race happening right now. There's a marathon happening right now, but if it happens on a weekday, they get the day off of school. So that's really the most exciting part about this day, according to the locals. Okay, we are now, say goodbye to these beautiful views because we are going to go into the back streets. We're talking narrow alleyways, cobblestone, bitty little streets, and we are going to go find ourselves some churches. What do you think? Okay, I'm looking at your comments. Are you driving around or taking trains and buses? So I try to not rent a car unless it is absolutely necessary because one, it just adds one more challenge to the mix, and two, it's expensive. So I am taking trains everywhere, and normally this would not be a big issue, but also we are having some wind. I will be out of the wind very shortly. Normally taking trains would be lots of fun and no issue at all, but they have been striking here. The trains have been on strike, and I asked the nice lady at the airport who was giving me some help with how to best get to Coimbra from Lisbon, and she said, well, you should take the bus. And I said, you know, anytime the bus goes, and anytime the bus is a little bit wobbly, my tummy also gets a little wobbly. And she tried really hard to try and get me to take the bus. And finally, when I refused for the 5th time, she said, well, the reason I want you to take the bus is because the trains are all striking. And I said, you know, are they all striking or is it just a few of them? She said just a few. So luckily, I was delayed. I was delayed by about an hour and a half. But luckily, I still got here, and I arrived quite late at night. But I took a taxi to my Airbnb, and the taxi was only €6. The taxi driver spoke no English, but I showed him where I was staying, and he was like, he made some motions with his hands, basically saying, well, I can't actually get there because you'll have to walk. And I said, okay, that's fine, just take me as close as you can. So I'm staying in a street that is similar to this one. You can see it's very narrow, there are no cars here, pedestrian pathways, but I actually ate at a restaurant we're going to pass by ever so shortly yesterday, and I will peek in the window for you. So while we are exploring the beautiful city, let me tell you a little bit about Coimbra. So this is an ancient Roman city. In case you were wondering how old Coimbra is, it is very old. It was a Roman city called Aeminium. And the river we saw is the Mondego River. So this is why, because of the river, this is why Coimbra was chosen as a location, and because of the altitude, you can see we're very, very high, it was quite a strategic area. Eventually, the name was changed to Coimbra, but for more than 100 years, Aeminium was held by Moorish conquerors, and it was finally returned to what is now Portugal in 1604. I'm reading your comments. I was just thinking that will that cat fit in your bag? Oh, Lynn, I will make it fit in my bag. Don't worry. We will have good bonding time. I'm just kidding. What made you choose this location to visit? Oh, Linda, good question. P.S. Hi, Linda. Congratulations on your retirement. So the reason I chose Coimbra was because I have visited Portugal 2 times before, and I have been to Lisbon and Porto and Sintra, all of which I will do recaps on. Actually, I think Lisbon is already posted, but we might have a live tour in Porto next week because that is where I'm flying out of, so stay tuned for that. I know I'm showing you these azulejos, these beautiful tiles, but these are not going to be the last of the tiles that we see. I just wanted you to see them up close and personal. But so I have been to Porto and Lisbon before, and I thought some of the best views can be found in cities that are, quote, big, but not that big. So this is the 4th biggest city in Portugal, and boy, am I glad I'm staying here. Sidebar, this is where I had lunch yesterday. I am not vegan, but it is a vegan restaurant. I'll just show you inside really quick. Isn't that beautiful? What is this place called? Fungus Beach. It was delicious. I'll post pictures of what I had, but I had the mushrooms and white bean stew and the aubergine gratin, and then I had a house salad, which actually the salad ended up being the star of the meal. I was quite pleased. Again, I'll post pictures, but this was a nice little place to sit in the window all day long and enjoy the nice Portuguese relaxed atmosphere. So Coimbra is a centuries-old, monument-rich environment. It holds every phase and chapter of the story of architecture, as they say. We've got Romanesque, Gothic, Mannerist, Renaissance, Baroque, Neo-everything. So we are just approaching our first official monument, but to answer your questions as to when a good time to visit would be, the experts recommend, and I agree with, spring. In May, the university students, which they are very boisterous, by the way, it is a loud and exciting place, wild and crazy place. They are doing celebrations. There's not too much rain. It is not too hot. The fado singers, which we'll talk about fado, it's sort of like the Portuguese version of flamenco. So it's not the same art form, right? But Portugal is known for fado. They have a whole culture around it. I was standing here yesterday looking at the chocolate, and I saw a tour pass by. You know, tour guides, we can recognize each other. And this nice young man was explaining to all of his group of exhausted-looking retirees, and he did recommend this to be one of the best chocolate places in Coimbra. I have not tried it, so, I mean, obviously, I will have to go in here, of course. I mean, if the experts say we should. Oh, look, you can see me! I would wave, but then the girl in the lady through the window would think I was waving at her. But anyway, I'm waving at all of you, just so you know. But let me turn around and show you why that poor tour group looked exhausted. Because they were going up from the bottom, which is also why we are going down during this tour. We are not going to go up the hill. If we do, we will have quite a few tours this week, but if we do, just know that we'll always start up, because I have listened to a few of these previous tours of mine, and I have realized that panting on a tour is not the most appealing. So I will save you that noise today by going down the hill. Okay, I'm reading your comments. I would love to see Porto. Never been there, heard nice things about it. Lynn, absolutely. I'm very much hoping we can go there next week before my plane takes off. Okay, what were those beautiful draped fabrics on this street? Yes, nice to see you, even just in the window. So let me actually show you the fabrics one more time. So this is one of the old town streets that has a museum on it for different textiles. So they're not the most, they're not kept up very well, because they do get all of the elements, right? You've got the sun, the rain, the wind, the everything, but it is advertising the textiles museum that is up the hill. Okay, we're gonna turn around now, and I'm gonna show you our first stop. Cannot wait. Here we are. Oh, isn't this beautiful? So this is the Almedina Gate. This one to the left here. I just need to get in a better view for you. You can see all the tourists taking pictures. The Almedina Gate was one of the entrance points to the old city. Coimbra used to have walls. It used to be a walled Roman city, a walled Muslim city eventually. And you can even see the sign here. We'll go right up to it. It says Torre de Almedina. And it is an interesting place to stop by. So it now houses the center of the walled city. And oh, these pigeons are so brave. They basically land on your head. Ah, okay. And there are temporary exhibits here, but to let me just show you this car, discovering that there is no pathway for them to go up the hill. That's always a fun adventure to watch people's expressions go, oh, we're going, and ooh, nope. So this arch, this tower is a vaulted archway and a tunnel. I'm just waiting for this car to back up, and then we will go through the tunnel. But they were this arch, all these arched tunnels. We'll see a couple of them today. Oh boy. All right. So this was, here's the name again, Torre de Almedina. And Almedina is derived from the Arabic word for town. When we were in Morocco, I know we didn't do live tours in Morocco, but we did do some recaps for Morocco. We did one for Fez, we did one for Chef Chaouane, and I'm also going to attempt to post one for Rabat and for Tangier, the other two places I have been. And when we were there, you might have noticed me talk about the Medina, which is the old town in these small Arabic cities, or the places that were built by the Moors. And this tower over the arch, let me just zoom up here, provided additional defense functions. And up here in this building, this was also the center for the meetings of the municipal council. A bell at the top of the tower here would announce openings and closings of the city gates, and the bell was followed faithfully until 1870, and after that the bell was, I don't think it was removed, but it was no longer used, shall we say. After 1835, a different space was used for the meetings, by the way, and since 1988, this place has been used as an archival storage area. Not the most exciting, but still good info. Okay, so because we're in Portugal, let me tell you a little bit about this lovely country and my favorite things about it. You can see we are going through the Almedina Arch. I do hope that I don't lose reception. Ooh, look at the cork purses. Cork is a very popular product to buy here, and I'll actually talk about the cork. Cork production in Portugal is some of the highest in the world. So I'll tell you about that when we get through the arch. I'm gonna walk really slowly so we can hear the music. It's the souvenir shops playing a track of fado music. I'll let you listen. I'll talk about these tiles also. Azulejos. Very souvenir-y, but still beautiful. Okay, so we are through the arch now, and I just want to show you this statue before we continue along. This is, I'll get closer to it, but it's basically a cello that is shaped like a woman, which I think is very beautiful. I know it's a little bit difficult to see, but still beautiful. This is one of the art museums here. So let me tell you a little bit about Portugal. Portugal is one of the oldest countries in Europe. The borders of Portugal were defined in 1139, making it not only one of the oldest in the world, but specifically in all of Europe. And Portugal appointed King Alfonso Henriques as its king that year. And another fun fact to go along with this, Lisbon is 4 centuries older than Rome. Before it was known as Portugal, this area had been settled by various empires and civilizations in 1200 BCE. So we have a very old society here. Portugal is also one of the most peaceful countries. As a woman traveling by myself, I feel very safe here. Again, when I arrived, it was raining. It was 11 p.m. and I had to get in a taxi. All of those things would normally make me extremely nervous, but here it seems like bad things just don't happen, which is, I mean, I know they do, of course, but it is quite nice to be in a place where you can tell the women feel safe, which makes me very happy. So again, Portugal is one of the most peaceful countries. It came in 4th place on the Global Peace Index in 2021, behind Iceland, New Zealand, and Denmark. It has one of the fewest instances of recorded violence in the world. There are over 250 million Portuguese speakers around the world. Portuguese is the official language in 9 countries. So we have Angola, Mozambique, Brazil, Portugal, of course, East Timor, Equatorial Guinea, Macau, Cape Verde, as well as a few others. Just letting you listen to the music as we pass. Oh, that was beautiful. So because we are headed towards some more cork products, let me tell you a little bit about the cork here. we have bacalhau, which is fish, and the barcelos rooster. Those are the two main items that you can find in Portugal, and I'll talk about them. But coming in third is cork. And Portugal is the biggest cork producer in the world. It produces more than 50% of the world's cork supply. It is also home to the world's largest cork forests and 34% of the world's area of cork forests. So there is a very famous family, the Amorim family of Portuguese billionaires who made their multi-billion-dollar fortune in cork. Just sharing some of the city streets before we go to our churches. You know, I love the churches. I'm reading your comments. Good to know. Shop names in English, box tea, some others. Yeah, there. Oh, so let me tell you, there is quite a bit of English here. And the reason for that is, at least when comparing Spain and Portugal, there are quite a few instances that I've heard with English music playing, with English TV or American TV, and in Spain, everything is dubbed into Spanish. Everything. Here, in Portugal, people are exposed to English. Not only do they learn it in school, but they're also exposed to English on a daily basis. Not to mention with all the tourists here. So they are consistently using English on basically a daily basis. And I've actually been very impressed as someone who is, you know, not 20 anymore, learning a new language. I can only imagine how difficult it is for the folks of retirement age here to learn new languages. And I have to say, some of the best English I've heard here has been from people in their 60s. I am so impressed, and I hope to be that dedicated when I am of retirement age to continue learning languages. Have you tried the lovely little pastéis de natas, the mini custard tarts? I will talk about the mini custard tarts. I love them. Loving this city. Thank you for sharing, Kelsey. You must have to exercise great self-control to not buy anything. That is for sure, Barbara. I will talk about the pastéis de nata very shortly. Hola. But let me first go in St. Bartholomew's Church. Because this is a church, I have to be very quiet, but let me tell you, it is one of the oldest buildings in the city, and it was built in the 10th century, named for the Apostle Bartholomew. The inside here, the paintings we're going to see were painted by Pascal Parente, who was a famous Italian artist. And the chapel and this like oversized altarpiece we're gonna see, they are in the Baroque style. Okay, I have to pretend I'm not giving a tour, otherwise they might kick me out. So we're gonna be really quiet for a minute.
Na hora em que eles se entregavam para voluntariamente sofrer a morte do pão, e dando graças, abençoou, partiu e deu aos seus discípulos, dizendo: tomai todos e comei. Isto é o meu corpo, que será entregue por vós.
They're speaking in Portuguese.
De igual modo, no fim da ceia, tomou o cálice e, dando graças, deu aos seus discípulos, dizendo: tomai todos e bebei. Este é o cálice do meu sangue, o sangue da nova e eterna aliança, que será derramado por vós e por todos para a remissão dos pecados.
Okay. Get your screenshots. Out we go. All the tourists are standing, looking very, very quiet with their click, click, clicks. So beautiful. Okay, yes, there was a mass going on. Normally I would not go in, but there was a large tour group next to me, so I didn't feel too bad. All right, so on to the next beautiful view of Coimbra. So just a refresher, that was St. Bartholomew's Church, and again built in the 10th century. Is that not amazing how old these buildings are? I just think they're so stunning. So some more info about Portugal. This is I always look up some of the laws when I go places, like the weird laws, the funny laws, the laws that make you go, what? It's sort of like the laws in France that women weren't allowed to wear pants until it was finally nullified in 2013. Now, of course, it wasn't enforced, right? This was in France, but here, one of the interesting laws, it was actually not so much a law, but just part of their justice system, is that the Portuguese Penal Code states that a person cannot be sentenced to more than 25 years in jail. That means even if the person has committed multiple crimes, including homicide and other uplifting stories. I'll let Natalie talk about that. She's good at talking about the creepy without making it sound too scary. But that means that even if someone has committed very, very bad crimes, they are only sentenced to, at the max, 25 years. The death penalty has not been present here for over 100 years. Also, something interesting is that Portugal decriminalized all drugs in 2001, and I mean all of them. On July 1st, 2001, Portugal became the first country in the world to decriminalize every drug, including meth, including heroin. Okay, but there is a caveat here. So the law made drug possession for personal use legal. However, trafficking it or selling it is still a criminal offense. So this was put into place in order to fight the heightened drug epidemic of the 90s and the rise of HIV cases. And now, 20-something years later, let me tell you the updates. Portugal now has one of the lowest drug usage rates in the world. Now, we're not talking about people who got arrested for drugs. We're talking about people who use drugs, who are addicted to drugs, who have a disease that makes them addicted to heroin, to meth, to whatever other drugs that I don't know about. But the best part about Portugal is that when they instated this law of, okay, well, if you want to take them, fine, you just can't sell them, is that you were then also offered free therapy and free rehab for however long it took to rehabilitate you. So clearly we have seen that it has been very successful. Let me talk a little bit about the azulejos, and as always, I apologize about my accent. These are the little ceramic tiles. Aren't they beautiful? I hope you can hear me okay. We've got a little bit of an echo in here. I think this might be an apartment building. I hope it's okay that I'm in here. Anyway, the term azulejo comes from the Arabic word athelij, which means little polished stone. This tile work, not these specific ones, but tile work in general here, dates back to the 13th century in a period just after the Moors invaded Portugal. They then brought part of their culture with them. So we saw some of the tiles earlier, but let me also draw your attention to the buildings we were just in front of. These buildings have lots of tiles. There are quite a few as we continue to walk as well. But today, the materials, especially the distinctive blue ink color, tends to be sourced from factories only found in Portugal. They are not readily available in other countries, which makes it a very exciting thing to buy here because this is one of the only places you can get it. And first, okay, let me tell you the process. First, the tiles are baked in the oven, and then an artist spreads these individual glaze colors on them. So yellow and green are quite common, made from very potent ink that has the right amount of water to dilute it. So actually, let me just show you the same kind of blue color here in this resale shop. And once the glaze is applied, then each tile is refired under an ultra hot oven that can be upwards of 1,000 degrees Fahrenheit. So here's one of the souvenir shops, and you can see in the windows this is a tablecloth that is supposed to represent the tiles that you see here, which are so beautiful. We will see some more in just a sec. I just want to show you how pretty these are. So ever since so after the 1,000 degree oven, it's this glazing process that makes the tiles super resilient. They are resistant to the elements like rain, sun, even fire. And that's also when the true hues and the bright colors reveal themselves. That's when they start to shine. It is also something that the historians have noticed, that the tiles are actually changing the more time goes by. It's not like they're moving or they're not just fading, but the colors are actually changing in a way that they might not have expected. So ever since the 16th century, the glazed tile work has been a steady presence here, covering entire walls of churches and palaces, houses, apartments. Very, very beautiful. We will see some more, but just wanted to give you the background on this. One of the first things to notice, though, is the monumental size of the places that are covered with azulejos. The sense of momentality is something that is very specific to Portugal. So the train station in Porto, the church that we are headed into shortly, all over these buildings, these apartment buildings, the shops. I saw a question earlier where someone asked, do shop owners or do people live above the shops? Yes, these are all apartment buildings. Some of them are hotels at this point, but yes, people do live here. So yes, all of these places, they sometimes will have more azulejos inside than outside, which is saying something. So the church we are standing in front of, this is St. Tiago Church. This is a Romanesque church built at the end of the 12th century. And the decoration on the doorways, the columns here, is what really is the main attraction. So it has had quite a few changes done recently, but the restoration for the columns, I don't want to walk all the way up these 800 steps, but I will show you the columns here. The columns are the main attraction for this church. I'll post a picture of the inside of the church also. It's entirely made of wood. Isn't that beautiful? I'm just reading your comments. Sounds very forward-thinking. Are there dispensaries where you can buy drugs? Love them. Very pretty. Love the bird. So as for dispensaries, no. Selling drugs, it is still illegal, even if you are a shop. If you are prescribed them to work your tolerance back up, or like to wean off of them, basically, that is how many people are in possession of drugs that we might consider to be illegal in other places. But I mean, people do sell them. It's not unheard of here, but the fact that the consumption is not illegal is something that is quite different than other locations around the world. Just gonna show you this view so I can casually not huff and puff in your ear. Whew. I live up 52 steps in my apartment in Spain, and I have to tell you, Spain has been excellent training for Portugal. My limbs are all wobbly, but I don't feel entirely wiped out. I did when I first got here, but I don't feel so worn out. But I have to say, this city would be a major attraction for people who like virtual tours because I can see the exhaustion in people's faces as they see the staircase in front of them that you cannot see the top of, and you look and you go, how many steps is that? So I am pleased to be here, to be able to share this beautiful city with you, because I do think it is absolutely worth the visit. But whew, you'll be in really good shape when you go home. So some more fun facts for you as we look at these beautiful tiled buildings. You see the green one here right in the middle. I wish I could zoom in on this app, but I don't think I can. For those of you who like dogs, here is a little pug, and it's adorable. Oh, it's so cute. If my husband is on this tour, that one's coming home with me too, baby. So, Europe's most western point is in Portugal. It is called Cabo de Roca, and it is located on the western end of the Sintra Mountains on the coast of the Atlantic. And it is known as Cape Roca. The point is the narrow, like this granite cliff. It is 144 meters high, and it has some of the most beautiful views of the Atlantic, and it was known once to the Romans as the Promontorium Magnum, so the major lookout point. I just want to draw your attention to the beautiful building here, this pink one, and let me show you how thin it is. I'm reading your comments, yes. Lots of steps. But not too bad now that we are back on flat ground, not too bad. I have a major appreciation for Valencia, where I live now, for the flat Valencia. Okay, let's keep walking. So a little bit more history for you. Rome invaded, as they always do, Rome invaded the Iberian Peninsula in 219 BCE. And that includes Portugal too, obviously. Spain, Portugal, what is now Gibraltar. It took over 200 years and the military brain power of one of Rome's greatest leaders, Julius Caesar, to properly consolidate their forces and annex Iberia once and for all. So that is when Rome officially took over. I'm going to let you listen to the music as we walk by because it is quite loud. It is here on the left. It is a young man playing the saxophone. Portugal is very musical, by the way. As an opera singer, I feel like I fit right in. All right, I'll let you listen. Let me show you the jewelry as we walk. I know it's hard to see. Here are some cafes. Oh, so much talent. Oh, that was beautiful. that was lovely, wasn't it? I love the street musicians. Facebook group, the Together Virtually, Discovering Together Virtually. I can't remember what we changed the name to on the Facebook group. Woo! These pigeons! So yes, on the Facebook group we are doing weekly contests for some of the best postcards taken by previous Hey Go guides, and I'm working on a topic for the competition of doors. So keep that in mind. It won't happen yet, but I think this week is desserts. So I'll see if I can give you all some good desserts pictures to take, postcards to take pictures of. As for how to take pictures on YouTube, I would recommend Googling how to screenshot. There is an app you can install on your computer, but it sounds a little complicated even for me, and I work in this industry, so I would recommend asking on the Facebook group or Googling how to take screenshots on your specific device. Together Virtually Discovering the World. Thank you, Linda. That is our new Facebook name. Does everybody like the new name, by the way? How exciting. John and Stefan both worked so very hard on this new name, website development, the whole thing. I know it just seems like a name, but there's so much going on behind the scenes. My mind is boggled. I'm reading your comments. I miss being able to take postcards. I really love your tours. Oh, thank you, Vicky. Vicky, I agree. It's my first live tour since Hey Go. Beth, I'm so happy to be your first live tour. This is my first live tour since Hey Go has departed. I mean, I've given recaps, but as we all know, live tours have a different energy to them. Now, I'm just gonna flip this around really quick so we can take a selfie. My grandfather was a photographer, and he said to always take title shots here. So we have Coimbra in the background. 1, 2, 3. Okay. That was fun. We are headed over to the last location now, which is one of the most beautiful churches in the city. It's not the most beautiful church in the city, but it is one of the most beautiful churches in the world, if that helps clarify. In other words, everything in Coimbra is amazing. Let me just show you here. This is the Church of Santa Cruz, and inside we will see quite a few azulejos. Or actually, it's a monastery of Santa Cruz, excuse me. Let me tell you some background on it before we go in, because once we go in, you're not going to listen to me anyway because it's so beautiful. You'll just mute me and look at all the beautiful things. Just kidding. Okay, so it was founded in 1131, and it contains a number of tombs and cloisters, and this is an absolute must-see here. It has a school and a library, and the choir stalls are especially of interest. They were from 1580, and it also has the beautiful Baroque azulejo tiles in it. They are in these vast, sweeping scenes that are, they cover almost the entire monastery. The reason I'm still standing here is because in true Kelsey foodie fashion, we have some delicious desserts to look at before we continue. So here is some pavlova. Looks delicious. Here is some honey and nuts, little pastry cakes. And now keep in mind, a lot of these almond honey pastries, these desserts, these are all from the Moorish rule. The Moors brought honey desserts and almonds over from Africa back in the 700s, and boy, we are very happy to have them here because they are delicious. So we're going to go in the church in the monastery in just a second, but first let me just point out, this cafe, you can literally have a snack in the monastery. Actually, let's go in there. I just want to show you what it looks like, because it is so beautiful. Also, while we're headed there, oh, what a nice view. Look at that. Oh, that's beautiful. So this here is Commerce Square, Praça do Comércio, and not so much happens here anymore, but what used to happen here was a big marketplace. For centuries, this was the main marketplace. This was the place where local folks came to shop, came to eat, came to gossip, and the main attraction is, of course, the monastery. So let's quick go inside the cafe. You can see it says cafe restaurant. And look at the beautiful stained glass windows. I really wish I could zoom in on this. I might ask my fellow guides if someone has found a way to zoom in on Streamlabs. That is the technology I'm using to stream to you today. Look at this. Well, if that isn't stunning, I have to take a picture because this is beautiful. Okay, picture acquired. It is very quiet in here. You can see the stones. Oh, there's some artwork in the back. I'm gonna see if I can go look at that with you. Okay, no one has stopped me yet. Wow. Okay, I hope I don't lose you, but if I do, I'll run back outside. Okay. Wow. This is a painting of... Oh, I don't know what she's saying. Very important. Look at how beautiful. Wow. So these are some of the paintings of this area and of the Santa Cruz Monastery. Okay, let's go into the monastery now, which I know you've all been waiting so patiently. It will not be in vain. Look at the stained glass windows. Oh, it's so lovely. Okay. Oh, the pastéis de nata. These egg custard tarts here. I promised to tell you about them, didn't I? These pastéis de nata, they are some of the most famous things to eat here. It is called a custard tart, and these were created by many Catholic monks sometime before the 18th century. And they are, I don't know how many of you are bakers, but let me tell you, I am a horrible baker. But I'm a great cook, but I'm a horrible baker. I can tell you though that these egg custard tarts are made with egg yolks. And why did the monks have so many leftover egg yolks? Because they were using the egg whites for starch. I'm just going to show you the menu here in case you're interested in coming, and to have the guy behind the counter not be mad at me. I think these are a little bit overpriced, but everything in Portugal is so affordable compared to the States, even compared to Spain actually, that it still, to me, is worth it. So they were using the egg whites for things like laundry, for starching their clothes. And they had all of these leftover tarts, or these leftover egg yolks, which eventually they made into these egg tarts. And they are so, so delicious. They have a creamy filling, a flaky crust. You can eat 5 of them in one sitting, no big deal. And this is This is one of the main treats to indulge on while you are here. You can eat them for breakfast, for lunch, for dessert, for snack, for midnight, to celebrate your arrival, to celebrate your departure, and to celebrate your existence in Portugal. Okay, we are now, I think the church is open. It says it should be. It was earlier today. We will see what we can see. So let me just show you. This is the monastery. Hola. This is the monastery of Santa Cruz. And now keep a lookout when we're inside for all of the azulejos on the walls. There is not a mass going on, but we still have to be quiet. Oh, that's beautiful. Oh, there is a mass going on. No? Okay, no, never mind. There is a clergy member, but not giving a mass. That's good. Let me show you down the center aisle here. And again, this is the monastery of Santa Cruz from the 1300s. So beautiful. But let me show you the real stunning aspect of this church, or of this monastery. Look at these tiles. Are they beautiful? Oh my goodness. There are thousands of tiles. I think it's 20,000 tiles. So I have to check. I will write it on the Facebook group. But they all make these amazing scenes. Let me go back a little bit so you can see a little bit clearer. On the walls. Aren't those amazing? Let's go up a little bit more. There are also unmarked graves in the floor. Number 47, number 33 coming up here. We don't actually know who's under here. Oh, this one we might know. Oh, yeah, this one we might know, but a lot of the other ones are not marked. This reminds me, if Lynn is still here, this reminds me of Mdina in Malta that had a huge collection of graves in the floor of the cathedrals. And I think these were some of the most fascinating aspects to these churches. So let me just walk and show you a little bit. You can see the Latin. Aren't those amazing? And we're right up to the front here, so I'll move the camera in just a minute, but I just wanted to show you some more of the floor. Okay. Now here we are. I'm seeing your comments. I miss live tours. Wow, oh my gosh, so incredible to see this. I know, it is oh so beautiful. We're gonna casually go a little bit farther up here. Wow. Look at the stonework on this. Oh, I see. You can go in here with a tour, it looks like. There are some people looking around with their cameras. Oh, thank you for your donations, everyone. Yes, I know the donations are different now than they were on Hago, but the donation site that I use is Buy Me a Coffee. The link to it is in the description for this video. As you all know, this is a free-to-enter tour and a tip what you think the tour is worth. So however much you got out of the tour, I hope you got a lot out of the tour for all of my pastéis de natas. But also this is a beautiful place, and I am so grateful to be able to share it with all of you. I can't get through security to PayPal. I have another card that's for done. That's okay, Tracy. I can assist on a private message, or we can We can talk later, don't worry. Aren't these tiles just stunning? So, a shout out to my tour this evening for the lavender. Oh, here is the organ, by the way. One of the most beautiful organs. You can see the rusty red color, the gold decoration, the beautiful Baroque details, and the faces underneath the organ. Let me get a little bit closer. So yes, this evening, well, actually it starts in 2 hours. We are headed to Provence in a lavender recap. And now I know it's not a live tour, however, it is a tour that I got my drone out. And as you all know, it is a little bit difficult to give a tour via drone. So I am very excited to be able to share it with all of you. It has some incredible views. When you purchase the ticket is €3, dollars, or pounds, depending on the currency you use. And then the link to the Zoom tour is then in your email in the confirmation thank you message. So, let me give you one more beautiful view, and then keep a lookout on my YouTube that you are all on right now. Also, if you enjoyed the tour, please feel free to like the video. It helps the algorithm, so I'm told. Oh, that is bright. Okay, I'm just gonna turn this around so we can bid our farewell. But, oh, that is bright. Thank you all so much for coming. I'm gonna get in the shade because I think I might have a sunburn just from this morning. Okay, so thank you all so much for joining me today. We can take a selfie here by these azulejos behind me. Look at these buildings. So all of this week, we are in Portugal. In a few days, we head up to Braga. By we, I mean you and me. We head up to Braga and we will do some day trips, but there is so much of the city I was not able to show you today. So do come for the next one. I believe it will be on Monday. Although I might be able to post one tomorrow. I am going on a day trip tomorrow, so it might have to be a last minute tour to see if I have reception. So cross your fingers and toes. Oh, look at all the comments! Oh, thank you everyone! What's weird for me is sometimes tips go through, sometimes they don't. Oh, that's okay, Arlen, thank you. Tried Leslie on Eventbrite Computer said no, looking forward to the lavender fields. Thank you, Kelsey. Thank you, Kelsey. Amazing tour. Don't forget to drink fluids. Yes, I'm with you on that, Barbara. Thank you for a lovely tour, Kelsey. Lots of water. You all are such moms. I love it. Okay, I will bid you farewell. Thank you all for joining me today. Feel free to subscribe to my channel if you are not subscribed already. And do check out the Buy Me a Coffee website. That is the tip link, but that also has all of the next recaps posted. And those are the places that we can't necessarily get to or view in person, but I'm pretty sly with my camera, so we can do our best to see the world one sly camera movement at a time. Thank you so much, everyone. I hope to see you this evening in Provence for the lavender and sunflower tour. Goodbye, traveling family. Mwah, mwah, mwah. See you soon.